Previously, in the berserk of gluttony, Fate thought of himself as the most useless person because of his gluttony skill that always makes him hungry, and because of it, the three-sibling Holy Knight always picked on him, thinking he's disgusting because his tummy always growls from hunger. Fate couldn't do anything since he's a servant of their Vlaric family. But there, Roxy was the only one who's ever been kind to Fate. Then at night while Roxy was chasing a thief, Fate gathered his courage and killed the thief. But that kill activated his gluttony skill, which Fate always thought was useless. With that skill, Fate learned that from every kill he could level up and steal the skill of others, after which he decided to join Roxy's family to serve her from then on, so he bought a sword from market, but that sword turned out to be special. That sword could talk and had the name Greed, and with Greed, Fate started to level up by killing monsters, but then, he saw a certain someone was dragging out a girl forcefully, so Fate decided to save her from that goon. Then, as the story progresses, Greed warns Fate once more, because the guy he's going to fight has the camouflage skill with which his skills were covered up, so that goon could be pretty powerful. But Fate was bent on saving the girl, but there he learns that the goon was working for the Holy Knights to smuggle them young children for their entertainment, but the girl refuses to cry. So the goon gets away from there for a moment after losing interest, but there, Fate comes in and freed the girl from chains, but unfortunately, that guy knew Fate was lurking around in the shadows. So Greed tells Fate to pull back because that goon was thinking Fate was weaker than him, so Fate does as Greed told him to and drops a few boxes on him, to have a chance of a hit. There the goon was about to use his skill, Sharp Edge, so Greed tells Fate to slice through his blade, so Fate once again did as Greed told him to and struck down the guy. Then Fate wanted to know which Holy Knight he was smuggling the kids, and having no chance, the guy told Fate that it's Hato Vlaric. And that information was enough for Fate, so he took back the kid and treated her to some meat, after which Fate dropped her to the orphanage, but now that Fate defeated a strong opponent this time, his stats went up and stole another skill, Tech Arts, with which he could strike combo moves at his enemies, but while saving the girl and from being a hero. Fate forgot one thing that Greed reminds him, he needs to clean up before going to Roxy's house to start working, so Fate managed to get a new pair of clothes and meets Roxy's at her estate, where she takes Fate to her father's grave. There she tells him that her father died 5 days ago in Gallia town when he encountered a dragon there. So now Roxy has become the head of her family and Fate decided to be by Roxy's side forever. Then, Fate blended in with others like Sugar and began working hard. Then after a few days of hard work, Roxy called out Fate again to spend some time with him. But suddenly Fate got dizzy and fell unconscious, so while he woke up, he asked Greed about his situation, and Greed tells him that it's the result of his gluttony skill. His skill is now starving for more souls, and if he doesn't kill someone, he will starve to death, or worse he could go berserk and could hurt someone close to him, so, to quench his hunger, Fate goes outside the city wall and hunts down quite a few goblins, but there the Goblin King showed up. Their Fate peeks through his stats and saw the king had regeneration skill. So Fate gets in and kills the Goblin King with Greed, and his stats now added yet another skill, regeneration. But Greed told him to give him all stats that Fate developed until now so that Greed could level up, and just like the name suggests, Greed, he takes stats of his holder to level up. And that unlocked Greed's second form, a bow. Then, on another day, Fate caught Roxy sneaking out of the mansion looking like a commoner, so she tells Fate that she's going on a secret inspection to the town, to see their livelihood. But now seeing Fate, she wants him as her escort. Roxy was a natural, but Fate was about to spill her secret, so Roxy stopped him in time before Fate spills the bean. But their moment was getting romantic, and looking at them Greed starts to tease Fate too much that Fate got angry at him, but Roxy tells Fate not to treat his weapon harshly. There she got interested in taking a look at Greed, and it seemed like she noticed something, but Roxy's makes up that the sword needs some maintenance. Then they entered the town's market. But there one of the Holy Knight was moving around, their Fate's tummy once again started to do rumbling, and the guys just got fixed on Fate. Fate wanted to hide Roxy's identity, so he apologized. But he didn't seem to let the matter go, so Roxy stood up to that Holy Knight and others started to realize that she's Roxy of the Holy Knights. There Roxy started acting like Fate's girlfriend and made up that Fate didn't eat his lunch, so they got away, avoiding all the suspicious eyes. But while Roxy had entangled her arms with Fate, he could hear what she was thinking. Then, they heard two passerby talking about a monster that appeared who killed a lot of goblins. There Roxy tried to ask those two about the monster, but they weren't interested in telling her anything, so Fate brought her down to the bar he used to have dinner. The barkeep was a friend of Fate. Their barkeep thought Fate had made girlfriend this time, so Fate got nervous thinking Roxy might get angry, but instead she was actually getting shy of all things. Then the barkeep fills her in on the monster rumors. Others interpreted that Goblin Killer is a monster because anyone would bring back goblin ears to cash in at Guild, but the year if those dead goblins were still intact. But then another old man showed up and told them that holy knights would be dispatched to hunt down this monster, and then some migrated adventurers showed up and began to become annoying. So Roxy flicks her fingers to show her power and reveals that she's the holy knight, and seeing her those guys begged her to spare their lives with money. However, Roxy refused the money and showed that she was not like other corrupted holy knights, so that went well and Fate got his blade patched up. Then, on the streets, they saw Vlaric's siblings were forcing a lost child to take him back with them, so Roxy took the kid under her protection. Then Fate and Roxy helped the kid to find her mother. And Fate saw the pure joy on Roxy's face that he had never seen before, but after that, when they returned home, both were scolded, but aside from them, the Holy Knights were planning something behind Roxy's back to make a trip to Gallia. But for now the video comes to an end, but for more recs of newly aired anime, please subscribe the channel and hit bell icon so that you won't miss an update. Till then, take care.